Distinguished CreatorIQ guests, please welcome to the stage CreatorIQ's VP of Brand Marketing, Ashley Waxman.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Oh, wow. Full house today. It is so great to meet all of you. I am sure I haven't met a lot of you yet, but please come find me. It is so great to be here. Welcome to Connect. I am here to light the way for you on stage 2. Before we get to all the great content, just a couple things. Bathrooms are over there to your left. Water is behind you. And we've got a great show for you today. Awesome. So our first panel today, all about accelerating performance outcomes with creator commerce. So are we all ready? Pumped after a few mimosas? Yeah? Okay, let's bring them all out. Please welcome Avi, Jonathan, Mike, and Sam.
Resilient little thing, just like mama made you. No one needs to save you.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
I don't think
All right,
the mimosas are working.
Yeah, more mimosas, please. Real quick, can I just get a show of hands? Who here is at a brand? Okay, so the majority. Anyone at a platform? Any creators? Love to see it, my people. All right. Welcome to Accelerating Performance Outcomes on Creator Commerce. It's a mouthful, but it's full of good stuff. I'm going to start by letting the panel introduce themselves. I will go first. I'm Avi. I write about the creator economy on LinkedIn and through my newsletter, CreatorLogic, creatorlogic.com. Go subscribe right now. I also lead a creator partnerships agency called Partner with Creators.
Hello, I am Jonathan Stanley. I'm our Director of Social Media and Influencer Marketing at Lowe's Home Improvement. Hopefully you've heard of Lowe's, but if not, we're a home improvement brand nationwide, and excited to talk to you guys today.
Hey everybody, I'm Sam Ellis, lead the BD team at Linktree. So if anybody is a user, welcome. If not, please sign up.
And hi everyone, I'm Mike Balducci. I'm the GM of CreatorIQ's Commerce Solution, so responsible for our affiliate integrations, our creator tools, and our payment solution for creators.
Awesome. So I want to start with a question that every single person that I have told I'm doing this panel has asked me, which is, how do you define creator commerce? Like, what is creator commerce? I'm going to start with you, Jonathan.
That is such a good question. So for us, creator commerce obviously is any low funnel results driven from creators, often at scale, often from a network perspective. We would call, sponsored influencers the more brand deals and things like that. Not to be confused with social commerce, which we use it in the broader sphere of things, inclusive of paid social, inclusive of organic posts on our own channels, et cetera.
Yeah, so for us, again, we're a creator platform, so we think about it through the lens of creators. And we believe that creators really are the new storefront. And specifically for us, it's all about making sure that creators, who we call linkers, are being compensated for the value of purchases that they're driving within the value chain, and making sure that, from the beginning, they are clued in and compensated for the influence that they drive, which I think traditionally has not always been the case.
I mean, broadly speaking, Mariana's like creator commerce. I mean, really impressive how, she fully just understands the entire vertical of creating content that drives a revenue result for a brand, whether that's a revenue result in a store like Sephora or it's online through their direct-to-consumer site. And from our CreatorIQ perspective, it's enabling our users to be able to track that. So to track the content, as Bhavin outlined and Chris outlined, and seeing how that content ultimately drives traffic to a site, and how that traffic converts on the site, and how those creators can be compensated based on that outcome.
That's interesting. It sounds like there's a few sort of, not necessarily conflicting, but different definitions here. What I'm hearing is that creator commerce is about driving results. It sounds like you primarily, Jonathan, do brand deals, paid brand deals. What about things like affiliates or live shopping, or these kind of emerging channels that creators are still part of?
So that's a great question. So that is what we did historically. But very recently, we went through a transformation. And so for anyone on the brand side, we're a more traditional brand. We're very established, been around for a long time, very heavy in TV, radio, traditional channels. And as we started to recognize we needed to transform, one of the things that we realized, and back to your question of definition, is we would go into C-suite and we'd say, hey, we want to transform to a creator marketplace, a creator network. What do you think influencer is? And more often than not, the answer we got was a celebrity. That was the name we got back. And we're like, okay, we're talking about social media commerce, social media influencers. So starting from there, we started to drive buy-in for creating more of a network effect. Because what we used to do with sponsored deals, and don't get me wrong, they are still very much a part of our strategy, but you go out, you cast an influencer using great tools and insights, you put the contract in place. If they've got an agent, you just delayed yourself 5 months. And then you set the deliverables, et cetera. And at the end of the day, you're kind of controlling the message. And as much as we fight for authenticity, we're controlling the message. So instead, when we switch to an affiliate model and a creator network, we are simply incentivizing the marketplace in order to have them talk about us the way that they see fit. And obviously, we want to reward them for that. But if you think about the scale that can drive versus trying to manually contract every single influencer, it's just led to some transformative opportunity, and we're really excited about it.
I just want to drill down on that a little bit. Affiliate generally is a channel for online, for e-commerce. How are you seeing that translate, or how are you seeing the program drive in-store?
So that's a great question, and that's a tricky part for a retailer like us, where you've got both brick and mortar and online. So by and large, we have better ability to track for online. And so one of the things we have to do is kind of coach our affiliate network in terms of, hey, if it's a product or a category that primarily transacts in store. So think lumber. People don't buy lumber online. They buy lumber in store. We have to instruct them on ways to make sure that they get credit for that sale. So for example, buy online, pick up in store. If they can talk about to their audience and message that and encourage their audience to buy online, and you can show up and it's just loaded and ready for you, that's a benefit to the consumer, great, but also then the influencer can get credit for the sale, which we want them to rightfully get.
Yeah, so you're able to track to some extent how these online interactions drive offline purchasing.
Yes, although it's not as great as we would want. So online is really where we want the transaction to happen for the creators' purposes.
That makes sense. Linktree, I hear, is getting much deeper into the creator commerce space. What does that look like? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so if anybody's not familiar, Linktree is a platform that helps creators and SMBs grow, curate, and monetize their digital universe. And up until now, we've been best in category at the grow and curate portion of that value exchange. And we're really been focused the last couple of months on the monetization piece for creators from brands. And the reason why is this behavior on the platform already exists. Linkers drive 1.5 billion external URL clicks a month. 20 to 25% of those go to commerce destinations. And up until very recently, we have not helped creators or linkers maximize their influence within that value chain. And so we have been in private beta with our shop solution for the last couple of months, and looking forward to rolling that out into a more public beta in Q4 to really help linkers get commission and credit for the purchases that they influence and drive online.
What are some of the, tell me about some of the kind of factors that went into this decision to move in the direction of creator commerce, right? Because that wasn't Linktree's original business.
Yeah, one, I mean, it's scale. Like 50 million users, like we have the influence, the click traffic, the behavior. Like Linktree exists to get linkers' audience from social primarily to wherever they want to go. And that 20 to 25% click number, hundreds of millions of clicks per month going to commerce, it's like, hey, this is a huge opportunity for us. And by shortening the distance between discovery and conversion on a retailer website, we think that we can drive a ton of value, not only for the linker, but for brands as well.
Got it. So you're seeing creators take those actions, or sorry, consumers take those actions through creators, and yeah, it was a natural progression to say, hey, why don't we just simplify and smooth that process?
Exactly.
That makes sense. Mike, I've been using CreatorIQ since it was just a creator discovery platform. How has it evolved in this creator commerce age that we're in now?
Yeah, so we've been focused the last couple of years on enabling features for brands and agencies that use our platform to track commerce. And we made a decision early on that we weren't going to be an affiliate platform. There's already amazing affiliate platforms out there. Many of our brands already had one that they were using, and so we built integrations with platforms like Awin and Impact, and it allows clients like Lowe's to collaborate with creators at scale and leverage the tracking that they've already implemented in their e-commerce platforms and in their mobile apps, right? So in Jonathan's example, they discover the creator on our platform, they onboard them in our platform, we track all the social media content in our platform. Their affiliate platform tracks everything post-click. It's already integrated their app, it's already integrated on their site, and then we can bring the data together. So we can bring the post-click data with the post data together, and it's really insightful. And you can learn things like, hey, post frequency actually has an impact on commerce, right? So, hey, let's try to get our creators that are in this program to post more frequently, right? And we all, as performance marketers, we've known for a long time that frequency matters. And I like to say, like, if you ever sat home on a sick day and watched TV all day, you see the same ads over and over. Well, that's actually by design, right? Because those marketers know that if they hammer that message into your head long enough, that when it's time to buy the George Foreman grill, you're going to buy the George Foreman grill.
That's the rule of 7, right?
Yeah.
Like all that. Yeah. That's super interesting. Scale is a sort of a term that's come up a bunch here. Jonathan, could you talk a little bit about how Lowe's approaches scaling influencer programs? And let's get a little tactical. Like, tell us about tools, tell us about processes. Like, how are you doing this?
Well, you may be surprised to hear that we use CreatorIQ.
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice.
And so actually, as you start to scale up, you have to have a tool. So I don't know if this will resonate with many brands, but we still track an alarming amount of our marketing process and results in Excel. And I hate that program. I don't want to be in it anymore. And as we scale up and we've got thousands and thousands of pieces of content, we've got thousands of creators, and we also have a growing team to manage all of this. And if one person talks to a creator and says something, how do we track that and make sure that someone else can have a clean handoff? And so tools like CreatorIQ are very helpful, obviously, to do that. But I will also say, as we've built out this tech stack, it is a tech stack in its own right. And so we were sort of leveraging, borrowed time from some of our tech partners and things like that. And eventually that doesn't work. And so some of the brands that I really respect, I've seen that they're out hiring dedicated folks on their tech side in order to implement into their systems, because the greatest platforms in the world have to be able to connect into our inventory system, our online analytics system, things like that. And so you have to have tech support as well. And so we've really been trying to rally to make sure that we're getting dedicated people with experience in affiliate, in creator commerce, in order to drive results.
That takes a lot of cross-functional leadership, a lot of getting buy-in, both at the C-level and from various org leaders. How do you wrangle those people?
A lot of education. And so one of the funniest things is you just actually use an example. So we'll go out and we'll look at what's going viral and what's driving customers to our store. And one funny thing that we found over time, and somewhat unsurprising, I think you thematically heard that this morning, it's often not the biggest influencers who are driving runs on the store for the latest viral product. It's the micros. More often than not. And not that we don't have some great performance from the larger ones, but the few times that we've had literally people going into our store asking to get something out of top stock, bugging the employees for that new hot item they've seen, it originated on TikTok from a micro creator. And so we can take that forward to the C-suite and say, see how this worked? We need to have way more chances out in the market of people doing this. We need to incentivize that system, not directly control each individual creator. And once you kind of show them the end result, it starts to click. And then from there, you can unlock a lot of doors.
That's interesting. So you're thinking about it really as like a big picture system, and you're engineering the system, not necessarily trying to engineer each individual partnership.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. We see this time and time again. You do not have to have a massive following to drive massive impact for brands. And some of the linkers on our platform that may have 50, 100,000 followers on Instagram can drive just as many conversions as somebody with 1 million, 2 million, 5 million plus.
Now, you handle all the platform partnerships and ecosystem partnerships. As you're building out this commerce ecosystem, I imagine there's a lot of those partnerships that go into it. Tell us a little bit about kind of how you're prioritizing, who you're prioritizing, and sort of where that's going.
Yeah, so luckily, we have already a scaled creator infrastructure. So we really lean on, we really try to be linker first. And so what are the brands that our linkers want to promote? Who are the ones that they want to get in touch with? What do we already see in our own data of people linking to, hey, let's go to those brands directly, make a direct deal, work with various partners throughout the ecosystem to make it so we can meet linkers where they are, whether that's when they're inputting a URL because they know exactly what they want to promote. How do we automatically make it so that they can be compensated for it? How do we have a great product discovery experience so that if they know that they're in fashion, beauty, lifestyle category and that's what resonates with their audience, how do we present them with the best brands at the best rates so that they can easily meet their audience where they are?
What are some of the challenges with all that?
Scale is helpful, but scale is also a challenge at times. We are really like a challenger, a scaled challenger in a space that exists. And so we have a lot of education to do to make people think about us in a different way than how they already use the platform. But thankfully we have amazing brand partners, and the linker community has already leaned into this because they're doing it already. They're just haven't been accustomed to thinking about doing it with us. And so making sure that we can educate them on the value of doing so is more of a challenge than I think we may have anticipated.
You're saying educating the linker ecosystem or educating potential brand and platform partners?
The linkers. For brands, we come with the scale. So it's obviously we have to prove performance, which we feel very confident we will. But again, we're a creator linker platform, and making sure that they're viewing us within that tool set as something they can do on the platform.
Makes sense. Mike, I think one of the biggest challenges every marketer has, performance brand or otherwise, is picking the right creator. How is CreatorIQ sort of built its system to help brands kind of match with creators in the right way?
Yeah, so just touching again on what Mariana said was like, she promotes products she loves, right? That she's already using in her daily routine. And so we have a tool in our discovery called Brands Mentioned. So you can quickly search across millions of creators to see which ones are actually mentioning your brand already. That's going to be like the low-hanging fruit in terms of getting them to engage with you in a commission-based partnership model. The other thing that many of our clients are using in this space is their own data. So, Mariana would appear on a customer list, a customer email list. We have emails on millions of creators. We can securely match those emails to determine who are your most influential customers. It's a much easier engagement with a creator when they already know who you are and they already use your product and they already love it and they already talk about it. So that's where data is really critical, having really good data to leverage to scale one of these programs. We got one smaller brand off the ground with over 1,000 direct to affiliate creators in a few months just by leveraging their customer email list to find creators on that email list that are in our discovery database, and do it in a privacy, information secure way to where, we're a data processor for them. We're not using that data in any other way. So that's to me, like I always tell brands, like if you want a quick start, like that's like literally putting gas into the rocket ship and sending it to the moon.
I love that case study. I would love to hear some case studies from you two as well, if you're willing to share some. Maybe we'll start with Linktree.
Sure. So again, we're early out, expecting lot of changes this quarter, but we've seen, again, now that we have provided like a dedicated placement within a Linktree Shops tab, 3 times the amount of product clicks per user session, because these products are getting hero treatment, top placement, really being organized in a way that brings them to the forefront. And so what I would say for any creator or really any brand here is, if you're a brand, like help seed the network, because if you're a creator and you start to link these products, what is interesting about Linktree, the company, is we sit at this intersection of scaled inbound social data, like billion plus clicks to Linktree from a social platform, overlaid with scaled external commerce clicks. And so if you're a creator and you use our product, you now have the ability to create your own social and product graph, where you can go to a brand and say, hey, I have X number of followers on these platforms, and I drove these number of clicks and this number of GMV in the last 30 days. We should work together. And being able to arm creators with that data on both what's their social presence and what results do they actually drive, super impactful for them, and ultimately super impactful for the brands that work with them and want to work with them, because we're providing, I guess, more qualified opportunities to work with people who are going to be the right creators for your brand.
That's really interesting. So you're providing transparent data to the creators so they understand the impact that they're driving.
Absolutely.
And are creators picking, like through Linktree, picking the partners or the brands that they are promoting, or are they having to go and broker these relationships with brands directly?
No, that's what, yeah, as of right now, you pick the products. We're not doing any like direct brand partnerships, but yes, if you're a brand within our network, creator can add a product to their Linktree and start to see the impact that they're driving.
Awesome. Jonathan?
One thing I kind of want to talk about, because I feel like it's maybe a question brands run into, and we were talking about this backstage, is there's so many networks out there. And Lowe's has a network, and there's LTK, and there's and so what's the philosophy that you take? Or should you try to control and hey, we only partner with you if you're in our network, or do you open it up? And for what it's worth, at least our philosophy is, hey, if you're a creator and you're interested in home improvement, we want to partner with you. If you prefer to be on LTK and go through that channel, let's find a way to partner together. If you want to partner directly with us, great, let's do that as well. And so the philosophy and I think it makes sense when you're trying to get to scale, is just be creator friendly. And I really do believe that if brands think as much about how they can help creators as what the creator will do for them, it becomes sort of symbiosis, and your results will follow.
I love that. Do you have any case studies, any examples you want to give, any kind of stories you want to tell?
No, maybe not here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Find me in the cocktail party.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We'll get a mimosa later. What kind of trends are you seeing now emerging that you're paying attention to? What's the next thing that you're thinking about trying to convince the C-suite to go in on?
So funny enough, as much as like if you zoom back, so prior to COVID, prior to TikTok, for home improvement product marketing, not all that effective, a content type. Fast forward to now, and it is the content type. So if we talk about a cool product or how to use it or whatever, that drives not only the greatest viewership and virality, it also drives low funnel results. So it's great right now. But what I worry a little bit about is this gold rush that's happening, and that the audiences, the customers, will get burned out. So you even see it right now. There are some very fair criticisms that people will say, like, oh, I just don't want to get on TikTok. It's just some random influencer hawking product at me all day. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. And so the more the brands and the industries lean into this, because it's so measurable and because it works, we also might wear out our welcome. And so I think you got to kind of watch for that and try to stay one step ahead wherever it goes next.
That's
Well,
really
you can come to Linktree,
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, that's an interesting point, right? It's like the Amazonification of all these social platforms as everyone sort of tries to, continue to grow revenue by going towards selling directly. I'm curious from Linktree's perspective, is that something that y'all are worried about? How are you kind of thinking about the relationship between audiences, creators, and then the brands that you're kind of intermediating?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, we sit at this intersection, and we want to get audiences from where they discover a creator to where the creator wants them to go. And so we continue to fall on that and make it easier to get a creator's audience from social to commerce, their own personal website, to whatever it is they want their audience to go to. That's our role to play in the ecosystem.
Got it. Any trends or interesting things you're talking about?
Yeah, I love Jonathan's point earlier, just again, about the micro influencer. Like, again, we see it time and time again. You do not have to have 1 million+ followers on social media to drive meaningful impact for brands or for anybody else who you choose to work with.
I love that. That's my overarching philosophy on the space. Mike, what about you?
Just, I think, Lowe's, these large brands are going to become social media publishers. So to avoid that burnout, all that content that they're generating and collecting and getting rights to use, I think over time you're going to see that on Lowe's app, on Lowe's site. I'm predicting your future here, Jonathan. And they're going to have their own algorithm. And I watch my 17-year-old shop online, and that's how she shops. And she's going to go to Lowe's or Lowe's app and get inspired to do a home improvement project by watching influencer videos. And I know Jonathan's already collected thousands and thousands and thousands of videos. And
You're saying the brand becomes the media platform.
the brand will be a publisher, right? So sure, that content might appear on TikTok, it might appear on Instagram, but it'll, if you want just focused home improvement content based on your shopping habits, who has that better than Lowe's? No one, right? No one has that better than Lowe's. So think about how powerful that could be. And some other large e-commerce sites are doing this. So there's trends heading in that direction. So that's sort of what we're thinking. And that's our whole content first strategy with Bhavin and Chris and the team has been talking about, is giving the brand and our customers those tools to enable that future content first strategy.
Amazing way to close out. Jonathan, Sam, Mike, thank you so much, and thank you all for coming to this panel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.